Hey guys, what's going on? I'm going to do a quick review of the Bullseye trades this week. It happened really quickly, so it was pretty much a day trade again. These trades are on and off, they're hot and cold, so sometimes they'll take off straight out the gates, sometimes they'll take 2 or 3 days to work and they'll dip in between. This year, I would say that we've been taking off much faster than usual, and Jeff's been nailing them pretty well. And so people have been making some money with these trades recently, so I thought I'd revisit Bullseye trades for you. Before I do, let's look at a couple other things I wanted to talk about. The first one is thetatraders.com. I'm loving Theta Traders. Even in these choppy markets, we're able to make some money. And there's a lot of free training that you can get on the website here. So you can go to thetatraders.com. I'll leave a link in the description. And check out some of these free training guides that we have right here. The best one to get started if you're not used to selling options is win 90% of your trades in 90 seconds. So it'll take you to this page right here. You just put in your email and you can go through this course completely for free. So definitely check that out. If you're interested in just signing up, there's different membership tiers. We don't offer any free trials anymore, so this video is a little bit out of date. But there are different tiers all the way down to 197 for a quarter. So it's pretty good, really interesting alerts, and works in most markets. So definitely check that out. If you're also interested in a service that is similar to Bullseye Trades, but has been doing really well recently as well, it's monthly money flows. It's only $49 for a year, which is insane. A really good low price. I'm really enjoying these low ticket swing trade systems at the moment. So Jeff Sandinieri's calendar stocks are monthly money flows. I've written a review, it'll be in the description below. It's this one right here. Basically, he's done really well with this. It's well outperformed the S&P 500 since inception. I've tried to put all the different trades in here that I've seen him, in his dashboard, and also the ones that I've been a part of as well. And so you can see a full track record. Go through. There's lots of videos that I've been doing on this, showing what the service is about really. And last week was QCOM. So he does once every few weeks, supposed to be monthly. Does a swing trade where there's big institutional buying coming in, and he used to be a hedge fund manager, so he was taking he took like 5 million, turned it into 700 million in his hedge fund. So this guy really does know what he's talking about. He knows when institutions are buying and when they're selling. So really good service, highly recommend it. All you have to do is come to this page. There's tons of links on here that'll take you to his page basically to hear his interview, learn more about this, and purchase it for just $49. I think there's even a money back guarantee, so definitely check it out. It's as good if not better, and in a lot of ways it's better because it's slower than Bullseye Trades, but of course if you want fast and furious, Bullseye Trades has been definitely more fast and furious, as we're going to talk about with Coin from this week. So let's have a look at first at what Jeff sent out, and then I'll look at another email and show you the trade and things. So this is the email that he sent out on Tuesday. Of course, it was Memorial Day this week, so Monday the markets were closed. So he sent out on Tuesday the coin calls. So he says, my bullseye pick that I want this week is coin calls. And the plan is to buy both stock and options, hopefully near my target entry price. And one thing that I really like about what Jeff's doing now is he's showing his own profit and loss on these things. So I'll show you some of his actual screenshots in a few minutes. Quite impressive, to say the least. So he doesn't give you much information in the email about it. The trade plan's fixed, it's well set out in terms of stops and everything, but in terms of the technicals behind it, doesn't talk too much about it. So it basically just says coin set a low of 220 last week after a surge from 200 the week before. If the stock closes under the 220, I'll use it as a stop loss. Plan to take quick profits of the stock options. I always look to get at least 30 to 50% the same day. So yeah, it's basically what you get as a subscriber, and this is the exact plan, June 7th, so about like a week and a half or so out. 260 calls near 580. Stop if we go below 220, with a target of 250 on the underlying. So pretty easy, right? And this one was actually pretty perfect in a lot of ways. So you can see what happened is, this is the Tuesday morning on the left here, at the market open. We had this spike up, pull back, consolidate for the first half hour, and then this huge run up all the way up to 244, which wasn't quite as 250, but it's a huge run, and the options really went up a lot. And so Jeff got in on one of these dips, not quite the bottom, sort of kind of more settled sort of here-ish, and he wrote about that in his email summary, which he does a better job at explaining what happened than I do. So let's look at his actual summary of his trade with this. So basically he said this morning dip proved to be an excellent buying opportunity, and that was what this is, the morning dip. Then he said, my plan is to get blah blah blah. We looked at that already. This is what he sent out. So he says, I have to say the opening dip for the market caught me by surprise. I came into the day thinking I had a sure thing with this coin trade, but about 30 minutes in I found myself down around 10,000. So a lot of people would panic and be like, oh my god, I bought in here and it's down here and my calls are down $10,000. But he held it, and of course he said, I'm not immune to trading pressure. At this point, I was seriously rethinking if I'd made the right move, if I should continue to add to the losing position. We all know that feeling as a trader, right? We all know that feeling. So he said he waited, coin started to pick up. After 30 more minutes, he was back to break even. So he was back up here somewhere, which is great. And then he said he started his live session. So there's this 11 a.m. Eastern Time live session he does where he starts to talk about the trade thesis in more detail, things like the Keltner channels that he uses and the daily charts and things that he uses for these trades. And so he said what was crazy was about 1,000 people attended that. So this is a really popular service. And so after 30 minutes went by, he was up $5,000. So obviously you can see it started to go up pretty nicely. And at one point he was looking at 12,000, and then he hit $18,000 on this trade. So he sold up here, and you can see in his diagram right here about the app alerts that he sent out. So he sent these app alerts. These are screenshots of the app alerts. Huge move in less than 3 hours, and he said closed coin hit 40%. So obviously he was in this quite big, because 40% is a fantastic win, but obviously in order to have 18,000 profits, he obviously had a $36,000 position or so. So you can see this is his profit and loss for the day on coin, which is pretty good. So he talks about that kind of stuff, talks about Bullseye trades in general. So yeah, so I think that's all we need from that, so let's close that. So I just want to finish off by showing you some of the comments and just discussing why I'm revisiting Bullseye trades. So for a while, Bullseye trades was almost impossible to get his estimated price, and so people were either chasing it and then the stock would tank, or they would give up and just kind of be like, well, it's not near 580, I'm not gonna get in it. And so you can see that reflected in the comments a little bit below as well. So the first guy says, darn, I missed another. I joined Bullseye again, but guess I'm still scared from the last time I tried the service. I lost too much last time. Oh well, good job, Jeff. So Bullseye is very hard to lose a lot of money if you're very strategic and take full responsibility for your trades. So you can wait for dips, you can scale out, you can use your own technicals to reaffirm Jeff's thesis in the trade, and you shouldn't be losing that much. I think one of the biggest problems is people can't handle multiple losses, right? So what happens is they position too big, so maybe they do 30% or so of their trading account, 40%, even some people go much harder, which is insane. But if you position small, you can handle 3 losses in a row without even blinking. You're just like, oh, well, I just lost $100 or something, So for example, imagine you have $100,000 account and you go in with 5%. That's only $5,000. So even if you take a 20, 30, 40% loss on that, it's still pretty small. So you might even want to go smaller than 5%. Maybe you go 3% of your total account. The problem is I think a lot of people that join Bullseye have small accounts and they're desperate to make big profits, so they use a lot of their account, and then it kind of going to hurt if there's a losing streak. And I see this all the time across all the services, including things like Nate Bear's service. people overposition, and then they give up after a losing streak. And Jeff basically says that here. He says there are going to be winners and losers. No one is perfect. Maybe you were trading with too big a position size in the past. I honestly think that's the number one mistake people make, and they think that the service sucks because the trader has a losing streak, and then they stop trading it, and they're at a loss overall on the service. This guy said he was in at 540 out of 725, 34%. So a nice way to start. Wow, this guy got out at 8. So made a small fortune on this. So yeah, sold at 8. Somebody always questions his fill as well, like, how did you get filled? Are you just making this up, kind of thing? I don't know if James really meant it in this way, but a lot of people do. They're like, the gurus, they always try and they just pretend they're in at a lower price. So Jeff just explains, look, I waited for a few minutes here for the market to settle. Coin gapped up a lot at the open, but within 10 minutes it came back down a lot. Patience is a good thing. He didn't get in at the bottom though, but he got in, you know, on probably, I guess, after 10 minutes. Probably on like, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is a 1 minute chart. So he probably got in here somewhere, and then it dipped. He rode it up. You can see it really rallied the rest of the day. Pulled back as the market dropped today. And we were starting the session today on Wednesday. So, yeah. Anyway, hopefully it's helpful. I think Bullseye trade going forward, I'm going to start taking them again. It's not that, for me it wasn't that I was taking losses on them. For me it's just that they moved so fast out of the gate I wasn't comfortable jumping in on them. But this is the second one in a row where, or actually maybe more than the second one, where it really has pulled back enough to get a good price on it, but then rallied pretty quickly. And I feel like I'm missing out on this. So if you are interested in this, I'll leave a link in the description below for you to join the $49 trial on this, and definitely check it out. I think it's something that most people could benefit from. It's just one trade a week, so easy to do. Alright guys, hopefully that's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.